The revolution continues and the first shot in the Wednesday Night Wrestling Wars is officially taken. NXT makes its debut on the USA Network with a stacked card. 1 hour on the USA Network, an additional hour on the WWE Network. This is a big one, guys. This is NXT on the USA Network. Let's get it. Alright guys, this is a big episode of NXT that we've been waiting a long time for. This is the JtoZ Pro Wrestling Breakdown, and we are taking a look at NXT's debut on the USA Network. We want to remind you, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Let us know that you enjoy the JtoZ wrestling content that we have been providing you guys with as of late. And if you want the series to continue, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss a single one of our pro wrestling breakdown videos. We're covering all the major shows from all of the major companies, guys. Tonight is a major show. This is a major company. This is NXT, and this is a big one because this is the start of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Wars. We're going to see this play out over the next few weeks, guys, because AEW, All Elite Wrestling, makes its debut on TNT on October 2nd, and it's going to be going head-to-head every Wednesday night with NXT, guys. NXT gets the jump tonight, September 18th, 2019. We're live from Full Sail University. Let's get to the first hour of the show, guys, on the USA Network. To kick things off, we've got super special, epic, dramatic We Are NXT video package that opens the show. And Papa H, our Lord and Savior Triple H, he is doing the voiceover for that one, guys. And the game, he literally says, "We are NXT, and we are going to show you." He opens the curtain up, takes us right in, and we are in Full Sail, guys. The NXT faithful are going nuts. Mauro Ranallo declares that Wednesday nights will never be the same again. And then here comes Io Shirai. We're ready to kick things off, guys. We're kicking things off with the Fatal 4-Way Number One Contenders match. We're going to crown a new Number One Contender for the NXT Women's Title here. The winner's going to face Shayna Baszler in 2 weeks for the title. It's Bianca Belair. She's going against Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim versus Io Shirai. Bianca Belair is going to get the shine to start the match, guys, but Shirai's going to take over and hit Belair with a picture-perfect springboard dropkick. She got some height on this thing. The women do an absolutely great job of structuring this Fatal 4-Way match, and for a perfect example of this, compare and contrast, if you will, take a look at that triple threat match from Clash of Champions, where Drew Gulak put the Cruiserweight title on the line against Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado. That thing was an absolute mess. No chemistry whatsoever, and the way that it was structured, I absolutely hated it. They did the whole thing, the WWE style multi-man match, where two guys, it's always got to be two guys in the ring, and any outliers are going to lay out on the outside of the ring, and then they're going to come in and basically switch spots. I think it's annoying, it's contrived, and it looks silly. It's outdated. Well, the girls do the opposite here because almost all four of the girls are involved the entire match here. There really is no rolling out and laying on the floor while two people go in the ring and do a spot and basically work a mini match. Yeah, they did a great job of getting all four girls involved in all of the spots here. We're going to get the car crash spot that any good multi-man match is going to get. The girls are going to be diving on each other on the floor here. Bianca Belair is going to end up catching Candice LeRae, and she hits a big fall-away slam on the floor. That's a pretty impressive spot, actually. Big bump by Candice. And then Io Shirai is going to hit an insane moonsault from the top rope down onto the floor onto everybody. That's impressive, too. Back in the ring, Bianca Belair is going to block a Poison Rana attempt from Candice LeRae, and she's going to hit an inverted Alabama slam. Candice is going to go face first into the top turnbuckle. That's a really neat little high spot there. And then the false finishes are just going to come at us like crazy. And the fans are going to bite on them too. And it works pretty well. Mia Yim's going to end up blocking a Io Shirai attempted moonsault. She dumps her onto the floor on top of Bianca Belair. That's going to wipe those two girls out of the match. Back inside, Candice LeRae's going to end up hitting the Poison Rana on Mia Yim. She follows up with the Lion Salt. I don't know what she calls it, but it's a picture-perfect Lion Salt. 1, 2, 3. Candice LeRae wins the match. She's your new number one contender for the women's title, the NXT women's title. And sure enough, the champion herself, Shayna Baszler, and her little MMA buddies, they're going to confront Candice LeRae post-match. We get a little bit of stare down on the stage. This was a really hot opener, guys. There's constant action all the way through. Well organized, well structured, and the right woman went over, I think, in this one. Great stuff. A really good start to NXT on USA Network. We're going to go 3 3/4 of a star. Loved it. We're going to go backstage where we see Adam Cole, the NXT champion. He's going to be hyping up Roderick Strong to help get him ready because he's going to be taking on Velveteen Dream tonight for the North American Championship. At the same time, meanwhile, Velveteen Dream, he appears to be in the Spirit Halloween store because there's all kinds of purple lighting and fog floating around. Anyway, those two meet for the North American title later tonight. We're also going to take a quick look at Killian Dain and Matt Riddle's rivalry. Those guys are going to clash in a street fight in the second hour of NXT. That's going to be on the WWE Network after NXT on USA. And a big surprise here because Cameron Grimes is coming out. I thought we were just getting the big 2 matches, but here comes Cameron Grimes. Second match on the show, we're going to get Cameron Grimes versus Sean Maluta. Of course, Cameron Grimes, the former Trevor Lee. I'm actually surprised they've pulled the trigger and gone as far with Trevor Lee as they have. If you guys remember Trevor Lee from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Impact Wrestling. He's a great worker, but it's just, I didn't see him as a WWE caliber worker, so it's very interesting that they've chosen to push him. I'm glad that they have. Sean Maluta is going to charge right away. This thing is not going to last long because Cameron Grimes is going to catch him mid-charge with that standing double stomp. That devastating double stomp that he does. 1, 2, 3. That is just a quick squash match, guys. As Mauro Ranallo says, that match was faster than a TikTok video. It's absolutely unrateable because there's no match there. But like I said, I'm very surprised that they've started to go all in on Cameron Grimes already. We're going to take another look now at Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong as they're going to do battle next for the NXT North American Championship. But before we get there, we're going to get a Damian Priest vignette. And I just got to stop for a second. They're actually cramming a lot into this very first episode of NXT show. And I think they're doing a pretty good job of not only pacing the show, but as a first episode, they're doing a really good job of bringing fans up to date if they haven't watched NXT before. They're catching you up on storylines, they're attempting to catch you up on characters, and they're trying to introduce you to new characters right here in the form of Damian Priest. So good job, NXT. Every segment is pushing something forward. WWE could learn, the main shows could learn a little bit of something from the way this show is structured. We're going to go into our next match. It's for the NXT North American Championship. The champion Velveteen Dreams laying the title on the line against Roderick Strong, the Messiah of the Backbreaker. We're going to get an awesome visual to start the match as they've added some neat little lighting accents during this super special ring announcing that they do for the title matches. They're lowering the lights dark into the building here, and you've got a really cool blue accented NXT light that's on the canvas now. My wife actually pointed out during the show that it was a really cool visual, and it is a very striking visual. They've done this in the last week on a Clash of Champions. They had the lights lowered, and they've basically just refined the look that they've given the big title match, pre-title match introduction look. They've added a few things to it and tweaked the look, and I think they've done a great job of making it a little more sports-oriented. All right, we're going to hit some chain wrestling to start, guys, and Velveteen Dream's actually going to get the better of it. And something I noticed right off the bat in this match, the pace is actually, it seems like it might actually be a little bit too quick. And it felt like it was a little bit rushed for TV, especially Velveteen Dream in particular. He doesn't stop to let his offense really resonate and breathe here. He's rushing from from spot into spot into spot, and it's kind of unlike the way that he usually works matches if you watched him on takeovers. Of course, on NXT TakeOver, he's got a little bit more time to work with, and he's not as constricted by basically his time limit. He's got more to work with. If he goes over, he goes over. They're on the WWE network. Here, he's under the constriction of the USA Network timeline. So it's basically he's got a smaller box to work within. And his lack of experience doing so sort of showed here. It's not something that's going to be obvious, but if you really try to look for it, you're going to see it. And you're going to see Roderick Strong actually slowing Velveteen down and basically carrying him here. Roddy's got a lot more experience, obviously, working, but he's got a lot of experience working on TV also for other companies, Ring of Honor, TNA. So he basically slowed Velveteen Dream down here, and once Roddy took over and really did slow things down, the match got a lot better. There's a nasty spot, a bump early on that Velveteen takes as Roddy's going to lift Velveteen up and drop him ribs and back first across the steel guardrail on the outside of the ring, and that's basically the Randy Orton backdrop suplex that you see him bust out where he drops guys across the table. Roddy's going to bust it out on Velveteen Dream onto the steel guardrail, and it looks pretty agonizing. I can almost feel Velveteen's pain there. There's a neat sequence later on as Velveteen Dream, it's just kind of a little thing, but Velveteen Dream counters a slingshot attempt by basically just standing up and turning around, and he goes to put Roderick Strong in a sharpshooter, but Strong ends up pushing him off to the floor, and Velveteen Dream does a great job of selling the back. Roddy works on his back the whole match here, and Velveteen Dream's selling is actually pretty good here. Dream is going to bust out the Dream DT, as Morrow calls it, and I absolutely hate the name of that move. I don't like that name at all. I call it the Sister Abigail DDT that he tried to bust out. I was just freestyling a little bit, and I thought it would be a better name for that Dream DT would be the Lucid Dream. I like that one. What do I know, though, right? Roderick Strong ends up tying Velveteen Dream in the ropes, and in a really awesome spot, he runs back and forth between both sides of the ropes, hitting forearms to Velveteen Dream's face as he runs by each time. And then he ends up hitting a backbreaker and a big tiger driver. 1, 2, but Dream kicks out, and that was a really awesome near fall. I bought that as a false finish, actually. Roderick Strong is going to lock in the stronghold next, and it's apparent now that they have got the people in the center of their hand. The people are going nuts for this. Roderick Strong is just so ungodly good. He's almost like a Cesaro in the ring. Just an absolute ring general, and he makes everything he does look so good. Roderick Strong he's so underrated. He's so good. He's basically able to carry Velveteen Dream here, and just the experience that he shows being able to slow down and carry Velveteen Dream, and this is a big deal for NXT basically, and Roderick Strong needs to get MVP points for this one. The Undisputed Era is out. Here comes Adam Cole and Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly as Velveteen Dream makes the ropes and breaks the stronghold. Velveteen Dream's going to make his comeback, but there's a really awkward little bump where Strong tries to basically toe hold Velveteen Dream or pull him down, and Dream has to fall a completely different direction in order to take the ref out. Mistimed, botched spot. Dream Valley Driver hits, but here comes the Undisputed Era trying to interfere. Dream's going to turn around, knock them each one off the apron one by one. He's going to turn right around into the End of Heartache from Roderick Strong. 1, 2. That's a kick out from Velveteen Dream. What an awesome near fall, guys. What an awesome false finish, and the fans totally bid on that one as well. Dream is going to fight back with another Dream Valley Driver, and he's going to go up to the top rope looking for the Purple Rainmaker, but Adam Cole is going to climb up, distract him just long enough, knocks him off the top rope. Roddy gets up and he hits a second End of Heartache. 1, 2, come on, kick out our purple Velveteen Dream hero. 3, we have a new North American champion, and his name is Roderick Strong, guys. Wow, what an ending sequence to that matchup with an actually absolutely molten hot crowd. It started a little bit shaky with Velveteen Dream just basically rushing, trying to get as much in as he could. But Roderick Strong slowed him down and had the cool confidence that he exuded in this match. The way he was able to carry it, it's a true ring general. The ending sequence to this match is just phenomenal. Hopefully this leads to Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole for the NXT World Championship. That's where I see this thing going, and I think that's a great spot. Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole, that's going to be a great rivalry to carry NXT through its first few months on TV. Let's hope that's where it goes. As for the match rating, we're going to go a whopping 4 stars. That was a great TV match, great TV main event. Like I said, I can't put Roderick Strong over enough for what he did with Velveteen Dream in there, and I'm glad he's the new North American champion. He's going to have some amazing matches underneath Adam Cole. And the Undisputed Era's got all of the belts now, guys. All of the gold. It's like a 4 horsemen thing they've got going on. I like that vibe. That's going to do it for the USA Network portion of the show. So we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to switch over to our WWE Network now. It's time for the WWE Network portion of tonight's NXT broadcast. And it's going to kick off with the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. He's going to be taking on Arturo Ruas. Or Huas. I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments down below if I'm probably mispronouncing it, but I will say that Ruas looks like an absolutely legit fighter, and I've actually liked what I've seen from him so far in Evolve and on the Indies, etc. He's done some jobs on NXT, and he's looked actually pretty well in those job matches that he's done. We're going to start things off with Pete Dunne practically ripping Ruas' head off really early in the match with a really stiff lariat. And then he's going to go right into joint manipulation. So he's going to be playing with the fingers and bending the hand down into the mat and stomping on it. I love that stuff. And it's funny that Pete Dunne really doesn't have to take a lot of bumps and do a lot of that kind of stuff. Especially as he starts to get older, he can just work a lot of the joint manipulation type of things. And he's going to be over forever, basically, by doing that. It's sickening stuff, and I love it. Everybody can relate to having their fingers bent and manipulated in weird ways. Even if you just bend them back a little bit, it's uncomfortable. So watching Pete Dunne do the things that he does, no wonder it elicits such a response from the crowd, because it's something so simple that we can all relate to. You don't always need to do a triple moonsault, backflip, DDT pile driver off the top rope through 10 tables to get a big reaction out of people. Pete Dunne's going to end up catching a kick attempt from Arturo Ruas a few minutes later, and in another sickening spot like we were just talking about, he's going to do joint manipulation with Ruas's toes here. He starts taking the toes because Ruas fights barefoot, obviously, like a BJJ fighter. He's going to take his toes and basically start manipulating those. That's pretty sick, guys. Ruas is actually going to get some nice offense in here because Pete Dunne actually gives him quite a bit. I thought this was just going to be a squash match, but Ruas actually controls a good portion of the match here. And he's got some pretty impressive looking kicks and strikes, knee strikes, and he busts out a pretty nice little bridging German suplex. Pete Dunne's going to end up going for the old finger breaking bit. At the end, he's going to break the fingers and manipulate them and bend them back, and Ruas is going to tap out because he's had enough of that joint manipulation stuff. I'd tap out too. This was actually it was a little bit more than a squash match. It was fun, and Ruas got to shine a little bit here thanks to Pete Dunne giving him quite a bit. He's actually very good with what he did get to show, and we're going to go 2 3/4 of a star here. Surprising for what I thought was just going to be a basic squash match. Dakota Kai is returning next week, guys, and I feel like the NXT Women's Division needs her at this point. Shayna Baszler, I hope that Candice LeRae gets the title off of Shayna because there's no baby faces left unless Dakota Kai is going to be the one to take it off. Shayna's steamrolled over everybody, and you can't really bring one of the steamrolled baby faces back to have them beat Shayna, basically. Somebody's going to have to beat her. You're going to run into the same problem that Asuka had, where they get so big that basically nobody can beat them. So hopefully Candice LeRae gets the job done. If not Candice, hopefully Dakota Kai is going to take the title off of her. Things are starting to get stale in the women's division in NXT, though, despite how deep the talent pool is. And as we're talking about how deep the NXT women's division talent pool is, we're really getting some deep cuts here, because the next match is Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Ugh, I'm shocked Aaliyah still has a job. Yeah, her look, she looks like a wet Bratz doll, basically. It's interesting. It's gross. She looks gross. It's just me. There's a pretty scary spot in this match. Is basically I don't know what they were going for, but Xia springboards up to the top ropes and she slips right off and almost lands right on top of Aaliyah. And then she's going to throw some pretty scary, stiff-looking kicks that she does. It doesn't look like she knows how to pull these things. She hits Aaliyah with a really devastating-looking roundhouse that basically looks like it concusses her. And yeah, this was a sloppy squash match here. It's sloppy, botcherific one at that. So we're going to go a dud on Xia Li and Aaliyah. Absolute dud. So next up we've got... this guy had me laughing. Denzel Desjournet, we're going to call him. He's making his way to the ring here. This guy has got MC Hammer pants, okay? He's hey, ho, hoeing. We'll call it that. And, yeah, this guy's straight out of, like, 1991 WCW. Imperium is going to show up from NXT UK. They're going to interrupt, though. They're going to swarm the ring on all three sides. It doesn't look good for Mr. Kid in Play right now. Yeah, they're going to jump him and destroy him, basically. And we're going to get a really loud "We Want Walter" chant that basically rings out. Where's the big guy? Well, finally, the familiar chords of that JtoZ theme song, they're going to ring through the building. And sure enough, the place explodes as the man, Walter himself. He's going to show up on the stage, the NXT United Kingdom champion. I love Walter's entrance. Really cool entrance, guys. And the place is going nuts for Walter here. Walter's going to get on the stick, and he says that Imperium is here to protect the sanctity of the wrestling mat, and they will do whatever it takes to prevent their sport from being an embarrassment. They're going to prevent anybody from embarrassing the sport of professional wrestling, and they are here to take back the pride and restore the sanctity and the prestige to professional wrestling. Nobody is going to get in their way. Well, Kushida is going to interrupt, guys, and he says that this is his time. I don't think that's too smart, Kushida. Kushida is actually going to fight off all of Imperium here. Walter's going to get his hands on him, but Kushida's going to slip out of his little Marty McFly jacket. And just saying that just now, I just had a pretty profound realization that this whole segment with Kushida, it's actually really reminiscent of Marty McFly. The way that Marty McFly in Back to the Future, the way that he evades Biff and his gang of bullies, basically. Go back and watch a scene, one of the chase scenes from the first Back to the Future movie, and then watch this scene in here with Kushida and Walter and Imperium, where Kushida gets the better of Imperium. Walter gets his hands on him, but Kushida's literally going to slip out of his Marty McFly vest and take off up the ramp. He gets the better of Imperium here, guys, before Walter can destroy him. That's a great way to set something up later between Walter and Kushida. Color me interested. I want to see these two guys go at it now. And not only that, but you guys, the whole building breaks out into a Kushida chant. So take notes right now, because that is how you get a babyface over. Kushida did a great job here. Cedric Alexander needs to take some notes on Raw, because, like I said, that's how you come out swinging and looking like a star babyface. That's how you show babyface fire. Hashtag babyface fire. I guess got to point out right now that WWE 2K20 commercial with Stone Cold, Hogan, Sting, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels, where each one claims that in their era you knew who the man was. That commercial is gold. I love that thing. Next up, it's a surprise, just as big of a surprise to me as it is to you. It's a number one contenders match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Mr. One Finger Up, Oney Lorcan, is going to be taking on the returning Lio Rush. Can you believe it, guys? I thought he was Dunsky, but Lio Rush is actually back here, and Mauro Ranallo correctly exclaims that he's had more issues than a magazine subscription. Those are his words, not mine. Welcome back chants are going to ring out through the NXT faithful, and I'm actually surprised. I can't believe that they are welcoming him back after all of the stuff that came out about Lio Rush and the wake of his absence from WWE. Oney Lorcan is absolutely just turning into one of the best absolute acts in the entire WWE today. It blows my mind almost that there are so many talented pro wrestlers out there, more talented pro wrestlers than at any other time in history. It is a great time to watch wrestling and be a wrestling fan. Oney Lorcan is going to just explode and welcome Lio Rush back with his own brand of explosive offense to start off. He's going to hit some flying forearms in the corner and the big blockbuster, but it's only going to get 2. And then Lio Rush is going to hit a trio of really stiff-looking tope suicidas through the second and bottom rope. These guys are working stiff, and they're potatoing each other, and it absolutely looks awesome. Lio Rush absolutely looks explosive tonight, and the fans are actually into what he's doing. Like I said, I can't believe it, especially the NXT crowd being that into Lio Rush. Oney Lorcan and Lio, the thing is that these two guys do a great job of adjusting on the fly, because they hear the crowd reaction and they adjust their story. You can almost pinpoint the moment where they adjust the story, actually. And they're going to play to their size, basically. Oney Lorcan is going to turn and play the heel here. He's basically going to bully Lio and beat him down, and Lio is actually going to be... He's selling most of the match here, and surprisingly, he does a great job of selling. If you've seen that video where he takes the powerbomb off the ladder through a table at the CZW show and gets up and no-sells it, yeah, it's surprising that he's actually manages to sell. Oney's going to work on his knee most of the match here, and Leo's going to sell that thing all the way through, even after the match. So kudos to Lio Rush for upping his selling game here. Lio Rush is going to end up fighting back with this really sick, awesome springboard stunner where he bounces off the bottom rope with basically with his butt and hits the stunner. Great little spot. Rush is going to go for the frog splash, but Lorcan is going to move. Rush lands on his injured knee and jams it. Lorcan's been working on that the entire match, and Lio sells it, does a great job of selling it. Lorcan is going to just absolutely put Lio Rush down with this stiff powerbomb, and he's going to apply a half crab, but Lio Rush will not submit. So Oney Lorcan decides to go one further, and he turns it into a really sick-looking STF and just stretches. I mean, he's just stretching the heck out of Lio Rush here. I actually thought that was it. I thought that this was going to be the finish. Lio Rush somehow fights back, makes the ropes, and Oney Lorcan is beyond frustrated now, guys. And you know what? He's calling for it. He's just going to slap some sense into Lio Rush here. He closes in. He's going for the slap. But Lio responds with a Spanish fly out of nowhere. The frog splash connects. That's going to finish 1, 2, 3. Color me surprised. Lio Rush picks up the victory. I'm actually shocked here. Not only is he the number one contender for the Cruiserweight title, but man, Oney Lorcan got one heck of a match out of him here. Just like we talked about Roderick Strong being just that good, Oni Lorcan, man, he just... There are no words, I don't think. He absolutely got a stellar match out of Lio Rush when I wasn't expecting much. I'm not a big Lio Rush fan. I haven't seen a whole lot from him that makes me like his work. I like his work with Bobby Lashley as a manager because I thought he was a good loudmouth heel manager. But as a babyface in the ring, I don't know. I thought he did a great job with Oni Lorcan here. I'm ready to see him as a babyface. Great match. 3 3/4 stars. We're going to roll right on because it's main event time, guys. We've been waiting for this one for a very long time. It's the street fight between the original bro, Matt Riddle, and Killian Dain, guys. We're going to start things off with right away as Matt Riddle is going to suplex the heck out of Killian Dain in the ring. He's going to go for the Broton, but he's going to eat a pair of double knees right into his lower back. And immediately, Killian Dain's going to go under the ring for the plunder, baby. We're bringing in the plunder. Death the Rose will be saying. He ain't got a bicycle under there, though. He just got him a kendo stick, punky head. So he's got a kendo stick out here. These guys are going to end up brawling into the crowd. Killian Dain's whacking Matt Riddle with the kendo stick in the crowd. He gets him down, and then Killian Dain says, "You call that a senton? This is a senton," and he just squishes Matt Riddle on the floor, the concrete floor in the crowd with a sickening senton splash. They're going to end up brawling right backstage. The Forgotten Sons are back there for some inexplicable reason. And they're going to brawl right out into the Full Sail parking lot. Imperium are backstage sitting back there. Walter's just sitting at a table with his belt, and it's kind of a funny scene. And Walter's going to take offense, though, and he's going to jump Matt Riddle. And then basically all chaos is going to ensue. The Street Profits show up and get involved. Pete Dunne shows up and starts brawling. The Forgotten Sons are going to come and start brawling. We just got a massive, massive brawl. If you guys have seen the Riot episode of TNA Impact on Impact Wrestling, this is back in the Aces and Eights, I think the Hogan era, maybe even before that. But there was a giant episode of Impact where everything just broke down into a giant riot, basically. Brawling backstage in the ring area. This reminded me of that so much here. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy Borash or somebody had something to do with putting this together. Matt Riddle and Killian Dain are going to end up brawling back to the ring, and for a minute I think it's just a spot with everybody brawling. No, my worst fears are confirmed because that mass of brawling humanity is going to follow Matt Riddle and Killian Dain out to the ring. It's absolute chaos now. Officials are trying to break things up. Basically, it looks like the whole NXT roster is down here brawling with each other now. Killian Dain is going to end up hitting the ring, and he hits a big suicide dive out of the ring onto the floor, onto a big group of people. And we're out of time, guys. Yeah, we are out of time. What the heck was that? Okay? What am I watching? Am I watching WCW Monday Nitro circa 1999? What is up with it? Did Vince Russo write this? Bro? I mean, Matt Riddle was in it, bro, but I don't think Vince Russo wrote it. Because there wasn't enough swerves. Just nonsensical matches ending for no reason, bro. What is with this? I'm sure Jim Cornette's pulling his hair out somewhere as he's watching this. I'm going to have to listen to the Jim Cornette Experience and see what he has to say about this. This is terrible. This is a street fight where they just spent most of the show telling us that there must be a winner. There are no disqualifications, but we didn't have a winner. This is also the brand that's advertised as the No BS brand. That's what the mass marketing has been showing us on the USA Network for the last couple of weeks now. And what do? You absolutely do the opposite of what you've been promising. This is going to create a lot of bad will, especially amongst these hardcore fans that tuned in on the network. Because do you think that a majority of the people that watched on the USA Network are going to flip over and come over here to the WWE Network? I don't know if they are. But the hardcore faithfuls that have been there every single week since NXT started, they are going to watch this. And they're going to see that you've created some bad will by not giving a promised finish. I don't know if they ran out of time or what happened, but this was awful. I hated it. I absolutely hated this with a passion. There's not much that Triple H and NXT do that I hate anymore, and I hate this. I think that they absolutely need to see this and learn from it, because come October 2nd, you're in a war with AEW. And if this crap continues, I'm watching AEW. I'm not going to watch a show that's not going to have finishes. When you spend all week telling us that it's a street fight, there absolutely is no reason for there not to be a finish. And if you are going to give us something like that, give us a better reason other than a big brawl like you did. That was pretty lame. I've seen that episode of Impact a few years ago. I've seen it before. I wasn't impressed with the booking of this, and I liked a lot of the rest of the show. Anyway, what is the bottom line on NXT on USA Network, September 18th, 2019? The bottom line is they clearly put all of their eggs into the USA basket here, because obviously that was where all their attention went. The WWE Network portion of the show was basically the neglected redheaded stepchild. It just was not very good. You had a pretty strong Oney Lorcan Lio Rush match here, and that's it. You had some squashes. You had an extended squash with Pete Dunne and Ruas. And then you had a whole lot of nothing. Xia Li and Aaliyah was awful. The way that you booked that nonsensical main event, the street fight, that was basically an angle, and a badly done angle, was awful. The USA Network portion was banging throughout, and they paced it well. And I look forward to that show next week on USA. I'm excited to see what they do with it, what they've learned from this week's experiment. It's just like these two portions, these are the same show basically, just aired on different places, and they felt drastically different. The first hour was just frenetically paced, that USA Network, and it makes sense. The USA Network portion was frenetically paced. You had build-ups for characters. You had them attempting to establish characters. You even had the announcers working differently. When you got to WWE Network, there's just the portion of the show, there was just this big disconnect. The pacing fell apart on the show. It was almost like the steam had just come out of the room and it was an afterthought. Skip the WWE Network portion of the show, except check out Lio Rush and Oney Lorcan just to see how good Oney Lorcan has really become. That Roderick Strong Velveteen Dream match is a banger, though. That's a great, great match, and everybody needs to take a look to see just the talent and the level, the caliber of wrestler that Roderick Strong really is. Look for the little things that he does in the match. He is phenomenal. We're going to go thumbs firmly in the middle. This is the first time I've done this. Thumbs in the middle. Like I said, I hated the street fight. It was like everything that was wrong with peak WCW and Vince Russo's writing. No BS. That street fight was the stankiest of BS. The absolute stankiest. But you know what's not stanky? That's JtoZ TV. That's the Pro Wrestling Breakdown here in the Pro Wrestling Control Center. We do hope that you enjoyed this look at NXT on the USA Network, September 18th, 2019. If you want to see more JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling coverage, make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. You don't want to miss a single one of our exciting videos. Check out one of our older videos too if you haven't got a chance. We've broken down some New Japan Pro Wrestling shows. We broke down WWE Clash of Champions, NXT UK, and even AEW All Out. And there's going to be a lot more pro wrestling coverage coming your way. We've got a lot of other awesome videos on JtoZ TV as well. Fun family challenges, gaming videos, unboxings, whatever you can think of. JtoZ TV has got the most energetic material out there right now. So hit that subscribe button to make sure that you join the JtoZ universe and you don't miss a single JtoZ TV video. Until next time, guys, I will see you between those ropes and down that aisle next time. Thanks for watching.